back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder Real Play podcast. I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azraketi bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a kobold rogue.
Brian, and I play Tough, an automaton inventor.
Taryn and I play Waltz, a human champion.
There he is.
Let's
go. Taryn, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, and...
Dude, thanks. I'm glad you're here.
Josh, go ahead.
Wait. Why you gotta do me like that, Zach?
Yeah.
Josh?
No, Josh, dude. Let's just cancel the recording tonight. I can't even. I miss his bearded face already.
I don't feel good.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, no more Josh. You're just stuck with us. Back to the original crew. He is no longer gracing us with his presence because I killed him. Well, not in real life. I'll do that later. But anyway, so last time on Mortals and Portals, geez, that was a lot happened that episode. Let's see. You guys were still on the island of Ashmark talking to Gothram, who was using the Flora de Vida to basically create undead soldiers at a massive scale. You don't really know what all that entails yet, but this flower gives life to Renard's people, and this person has now manipulated it to create undead life. And they seemed to have taken some sort of oath to a spirit that was, man, this is so convoluted, to a spirit that was inside of Tough, who was also a keeper but is dead. And they spoke to each other in Elder, which means they cannot lie. And he basically said that he would make sure Digsby's crew could leave this island with the Flora de Vida with a chance to return it to its soils. And in exchange, this spirit, Raucus, was going to help Gothram find some artifact known as the Elder Blade. So Gothram was fully cooperating with you guys. He took you out of the pyramid, gave you the Flora de Vida, and also I should mention that like Tough, I guess, kind of died for a second, and then Reynard, who desperately wanted to drink from the power of the Flora de Vida, having been separated from so long, he was growing weaker. He could no longer maintain his disguise and was showing you his kitsune form. Very, very obvious signs that he's losing this power, this life within him. He so badly wanted to siphon his power, but instead he put it inside of Tough to replace his now absent power core. That was actually also the spirit. Man, holy cow. I just feels like drawstrings on like the pegboard Charlie Kelly meme, but yeah. So anyway, he did that, and it was kind of a pretty noble sacrifice in a way. We didn't really know what all that meant, but he was giving up this power and giving it to Tough instead. And Gothram took you to a node, and because he was a keeper, he was able to activate it, even though it wasn't aligned, and sent you guys off-world back to Lorthal, to a node that is presumably the closest to Ciudad de Nubes, giving you ample time. And when you guys got through, you could tell that Renard was a little bit somber, he was pretty weak, and he basically said that he would be no good in your assault on Ciudad de Nubes and taking the Flora de Vida back, and he basically said, like, look, I'm going to stay here. I'm too weak. I would be a liability. I'd hold you guys back. But first, let me teach you how to use the Flora de Vida, and it will guide you to Ciudad de Nubes. And he spent some time with Tough, showing him how to harness the energy as it was within him. And eventually, Tough, like, figured out how to fly, which makes sense, because this Flora de Vida makes the city fly, so why can't it make Tough fly in the same way? And Tough was able to make...
Now I can fly.
Yeah, you can fly now, yeah. See, I don't let you play sometimes, but sometimes I'll let you fly. That's kind of cool.
And
Is that
I
a
get
good trade-off?
superpowers instead.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's overpowered. Kill him.
Yeah, no, I will. Don't worry. That's the whole reason I did
Tough.
it. The whole point is to get him in the sky and then just shut off that power, so he just like falls to his death.
Smart.
I'll land on my feet.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was able to like shoot out ethereal-looking whips from his body that like basically created orbs around you guys and enabled you to fly, and then was flying off with you guys, taking you towards the city, and Azoki as well. And then Renard stayed back with Cervantes, this hippogriff, and Cervantes could tell something was up, and it wasn't a usual situation with Renard. He could tell he wasn't looking so good. Renard is saying he really wished he could have made it all the way, but then he remembered that there is this massive flying Merkvane creature from Dracus flying around with Raoul on it that was definitely gonna eat you guys in the sky. You would not stand a chance. So Reynard took the last bit of energy he had of the Flora de Vida within him and created a burst of energy to mimic the Florida Vita and hopefully draw Raoul to him, thinking the Florida Vita was back on Lorthal. And it worked. So he sent away Cervantes first after you guys to go help you, knowing you guys would need help and he would no longer need Cervantes. And Raoul did show up on this creature, and they started talking, sort of revealing his motives for why he's doing it. Basically boils down to he has a lot of disdain for this entire culture as they're just harboring this powerful artifact and not using it to help the world in his eyes. And apparently he knows a lot of things from his time in exile, and basically sees them as villains and wasting the Florida Vita. And he also knows he's working for Gothram, who he says is a keeper, and it's his duty to serve keepers who saved the city way back when. So in his own way, he thinks he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And then him and Reynard had a fight, and Reynard knew he was not going to make it through this fight, but put on a performance to make Raoul think he was strong and able to fight. And they had this very climactic clashing of swords on the cliffside as the sun was setting, and eventually Raoul put his sword through his stomach and killed Reynard, but not before Reynard told him that he doesn't have the Florida Vita. And as soon as Raoul realized that was true, he ran, got on his mount, and took off after you guys. And Reynard died with a smile, looking at the setting sun over the planet, knowing that he ensured the keepers had a chance to save the city, and he did everything he could. And that is where we ended our session. So that is where we will start our session with Digsby's crew plus Zoki. I don't know if she's an honorary member. Up to you guys. Flying through the night sky. All of you are basically like powerless in how this is working. You kind of just feel like you're being pulled along by a probably somewhat unconfident looking Tough. It's maybe a wobbly flight. You're certainly not moving fast. It's kind of like drifting. Yeah, so you guys would feel very uneasy. You're just suspended over like miles and miles of air, hoping that Tough actually knows what he's doing, and you've been flying for some time. As you approach a ceiling of dark clouds above you, not a lot of light getting through because it is nighttime, but you are continuing to ascend and progressing forward. So I'll cut it over to you guys.
Hey, Tough! Any idea how much longer?
Well, at the speed we're going right now, and based on my sixth sense of where this place is supposed to be, I'm going to say we're about... I have no idea.
This is not
just
fast
asking.
at all. Like, I swear I can walk faster than this.
Don't talk to me. I'm trying to concentrate. This thing is harder to control than I thought.
God, we don't want to be up here when that thing comes back.
Wait, what happens if you break concentration?
Don't make him think about it. What's wrong with you?
We start to like fall a little bit. Well, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Whoa!
How's about this? You guys shut up until we get there. Let's play the quiet game. You guys are in the back seat, right?
Yes, let's spend this episode just not talking.
Jules, what did I just say?
I lose, I guess.
New round.
Starting now.
So what's the plan anyway? I mean, Renard made it sound like there was a lot going on in the city. Are we just gonna drift up all lackadaisical-like and hope nobody notices?
Yeah, maybe when we get closer, we can find a way to land without anybody noticing. It's probably best to lay low.
Yeah, because flying in glowing blue orbs is definitely laying low.
I don't think we have much of a choice.
Definitely not at this point.
Maybe there's like a secret entrance or something. I don't know. I've never.
Oh,
been to
yeah,
this
yeah,
place.
because none of us have been there.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Can you all roll me a perception check?
Perception
17.
Check, perception check. That's a 9.
I got a 21.
19.
Wow.
Whoa.
I win. Guys,
Nine.
I won.
90.
I thought you wanted the lowest number.
You can re-roll it, Ryan.
Okay.
All right. So, Tough, you're just like very focused on maintaining flight. Like you can definitely tell that like each individual tendril or whatever is like reaching out to everyone, like requires like its own focus, and you're maybe not trying to show that to everyone. You're kind of still trying to be snarky, but in your own head, you're like maybe slower with your jokes and your jabs because you're like, I really can't mess this up.
Concentrate, Tough. Concentrate. Don't embarrass yourself.
And as you're thinking of that, you all start to drift through some clouds as you continue to ascend, and really can't even see in front of your face for a little bit. You're just feeling the moisture of these clouds, and eventually emerge on the other side, above the clouds and off in the distance, backlit by the moonlight. You see a massive landmass floating in the air, and it has a rounded cone-shaped bottom of earth, and as it makes its way upwards to a flat plateau surface, you see the silhouette and signs of very diverse and varied terrain with mountains and forests and even tall buildings and structures like a city within it. And realize that although Reynard said you will never go there and it is a beautiful place, you are undoubtedly laying eyes on Ciudad de la Nubes for the first time. And as far as you can tell, it is still floating as you would expect. It doesn't seem to be plummeting to the ground or tipping on the side just yet, but you cannot help but behold this amazing sight, something you thought you would never see, something almost nobody knows even exists, and it is right before your eyes, off in the distance.
Blimey.
Well, Reynard was right. It's beautiful.
Can see why he liked it so much.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. Unless this tingle in the Florida Vita I feel is something else.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the big floating island in the sky we're looking at is the big floating island in the sky we're going for.
It's certainly bigger than I thought, and it doesn't appear to be in any immediate danger.
And as Zoki says that, not so much Tough, who is still concentrating, Jules, although there is wind whipping around your ears and it's kind of hard to hear, you hear what feels like a familiar sound, like Cervantes or Smith, as some wings flap and you hear a chirp behind you, and turn your head and see a golden kitsune atop a hippogriff, and then hear flaps on the other side as a silver kitsune atop a hippogriff appears on the opposite side behind you and starts to soar up beside you guys, and you all sort of turn your heads around and see this, except maybe Tough, who is still focusing, and these two kitsune call out,
Esne amicus. Esne amicus.
No, I'm Dax.
Bless you.
Sorry, we don't speak your language. Do you speak common?
and you see one reach on its back and pull out what looks like a rifle, and it rests in its hand. Dax, right away, you see it's a very crudely designed rifle, and you see a familiar blue glow coming from it as a sun shard is just jabbed into the upper receiver of this rifle, and it starts to glow and charge, and you recognize these as Voshek weapons from Drakis. And this golden kitsune nods to the silver one, who also pulls out one of these rifles, and they yell out in a very serious tone,
Esne amicus!
Hey, what's going on back there? What did I say about the quiet game? And Tuff will turn his head around. Oh, no, dogs!
Faster,
Just keep
Tough.
flying, Tough.
And Tuff will start, pedaling in the air, trying to, run faster.
Dax will throw his hands up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing with Voshek weapons? I don't know what you're saying anyway, but how'd you get those?
They look to each other, look up at you, and say very slowly,
Esne amicus!
and the shard starts to glow brighter and brighter. Tuff, can you roll me a perception check real quick?
Oh, shoot. It's a good roll. 28.
Being the one in the group that has heard it the most and maybe has the most educated background, you can tell that whatever they are saying is in Elder, and you know that a lie cannot be spoken in Elder, and they are clearly asking you a question, and it seems very urgent.
Jules will throw up his hands, and he'll say, Flua de vida! Flua de vida!
They look at each other and then look back and then raise the rifles up and prepare to fire. And that'll take us to Jules, who rolled the highest perception check for initiative.
What is happening?
We got bamboozled. We rolled initiative as perception, didn't we, Zach and Steve?
He got us
did.
again.
Every time. I didn't ask for this.
All right, so they are flying, and you guys are flying, but their hippogriffs are way faster than Tough can fly. So I'm not really worried so much about making everyone roll for movement or talk about that. I'm just going to assume that you guys are continuing to hover forward, and they are going to be sort of drifting around you pretty much as they please, knowing they are much faster than you guys. But yes, Jules, what do you want to do with your turn?
Okay. Well, I will start out by saying, "Tough, just keep going." And then, how close are they to us?
They're a ways off. They're about 50 feet, just drifting,
Okay.
flanking you.
That'll change what I do then a little bit. I'm going to cast Daze,
Okay.
which is a cantrip. They have to make a basic will save.
On both of them? Because they're
Just
on they're kind of
one.
apart on each side, so you're just casting on one. Okay. The silver or the gold?
On one guy. Yep. Gold.
All right.
Gotta go for gold, buddy.
Go for gold. Okay, so they have to beat 20.
Okay. Rolled a 19.
Woohoo! So 6 total.
Okay. Jules, you look back, sort of just floating around in this orb Tough has created for you, like awkwardly trying to position yourself in it to look back at them. And then your golden eyes flare for a moment, and you see the gold kitsune lower their rifle for a moment and put their hand up to their head. And they shake it back and forth, and they look very disoriented, sort of wobble side to side, grimace, and then look back up at you. Do you have any remaining actions?
I do. I have one more, and with that action, I would like to cast Inspire Courage.
Yeah!
And I'll take my ocarina out and play a little jolt of music after just jolting Mr. Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
So I'll play a little music, and then I will say, "Stick to the mission, gents, and you, Zoki. Sorry."
What the heck am I supposed to do?
She's like the most awkwardly just bouncing around inside the orb, trying to like get spun around.
That is the end of my turn.
That'll take us to Waltz.
So, do I get the feeling I can't leave this orb?
You could maybe try and like plow your way out of the confines of the orb if you want
Here
to
we
leave
go.
it. And of course, first round of combat, Waltz is like, "Can I be free falling, please?"
Well,
Yeah.
are they within reaching distance? Can I grab them? Are they melee distance?
They're like 50 feet away, but like if you got out of the orb, like their momentum plus yours, you could like meet them if that's something you're considering.
Okay, so I will I'll take my shield out, I'll raise it, and then I'll use the aid action to assist Dax, and I'll say, Dax, let me know when you're ready. I'll get their attention.
Oh, you got it, bud.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
All right, and that takes us to the silver kitsune, who looks over at the golden one that was shaking his head, and then looks back at Jules, telling that Jules just did something, raises his rifle and fires it at Jules. Does a 16 hit you?
No.
All right. The shard glows, the rifle vibrates in his hand, and he fires it, and there's a tremendous amount of kick. Like you see his shoulder fly back, and this special beam cannon spiral fires out of his rifle and dashes past you, Jules, and travels some distance ahead of you and then explodes. And you can tell that this is a very powerful rifle as the hippogriff wanes side to side after the kitsune fires it. And you also can kind of see by the way that he handled that he's not necessarily skilled with this weapon, but he has one. And he goes, "Darn it!" And he slaps the sun shard down deeper into the rifle and then raises it up again, trying to shoot it, but you see him kind of wobbling back and forth, and he's going to fire one more time at Jules.
Did you just say darn it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess he did.
yeah.
I guess he did.
Is
He
that the
lied
one-
too.
One bit of common he knows.
Does a? It's not so much that he doesn't know common. He was saying something in Elder. Does an 18 hit you?
It does not.
Okay, You see him sort of wobbling as he's about to fire, and you see him brace, like anticipating the kickback, and it causes him to tense up, and he shoots and misses again. Same thing, flies over your shoulder and explodes. And you get the sense that a follow-up shot in close succession like that is difficult to pull off with the power of the rifle.
Rookie move.
Stop shooting! We mean no harm!
And that'll take us to Dax.
All right. I look to Zoki. Does she have any weapons with her?
No, she does not. She just looks very panicked, floating around in this orb.
Okay.
It's not so much that she's not accustomed to taking care of herself. This is just a completely different environment and means in which she engages in conflict than she is used to. So she would much rather like stealthily divert and use social engineering. She's just like, I'm floating in the sky with people shooting at me. What the heck?
All right, Dax will look at Zoki, see her kind of panicking a little bit. Zoki, you've got this. And he'll pull the bow, his short bow, up and off of his shoulder with, I guess, some arrows and put them out to her. You know how to use this? Take it.
A little bit, but I never tried it while floating inside it.
And she keeps like banging around the edges of the orb. Oh gosh. And she like sticks her hand out of it slowly and then grabs onto the bow with some arrows maybe around the shaft so she can grab it with one hand and then pulls it in. And you see her kind of slapping an arrow onto the string as it kind of bounces off the shaft and she's trying to get a hold of it.
I'll do my best.
Hey, you got it, Zoke. He'll turn, look down at his hands, glowing a whitish blue, and shoot a ray of frost out at the gold kitsune.
All right.
I have a +1 from Adam's Inspire Courage, and what did you give
+2.
me? That is a non-natural 20.
Okay. As you hand it off to Zoki and start to prepare the spell, you maybe rotate around inside the orb and turn your back to them, and then Waltz, out of the corner of his eye, sees this glow forming and realizes that you're preparing the spell and yells out to the kitsune, gathering their attention as they look up, and then realize that Waltz is just holding a shield, and then quickly look back at Dax right as you spin around in the orb and fire out this beam that they were not ready for, and it does hit them. Roll damage.
All right.
Another +1 to that.
12 damage.
Ooh, nice. This frigid blue beam fires through the dark night sky, illuminating beautifully, and as it strikes the kitsune, ice shards form over them and they wobble. You even see it cake up the feathers of the hippogriff for a moment as they frantically flap their wings, causing shards and frost to fall off, and the kitsune wobbles back and forth.
We need to kill them, quickly. What do you think I'm trying to do, you idiot?
Do you have any actions left, Dax?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, that'll take us
That's it.
to Tough. So
Let's go tough.
Tough, you can try and do something, but if you try and do anything other than just like flying or communicating, you will have to roll to see if you maintain concentration on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to do anything too elaborate, you may be putting yourself at risk of maintaining this spell.
Great. You just said that one of them said we need to kill them quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tough is gonna just big time concentrate on flying for the most part, but he just sees this whole situation as a misunderstanding, thinking that these kitsune are from the Ciudad de los Nubes and they could be attacking us just because we're outsiders, you know? So I'm gonna yell back to the group, "Hey, dum-dums, what are you shooting at?"
The people shooting at us. They shot first.
"Yeah, but they're dogs, just like Don Renard."
Technically, the fishman shot first.
"Jules, do I have to come back there?"
I just jolted his brain a little bit.
It
I
hurt.
didn't shoot him.
Well, chill your gills for a sec. And I'll like wave my arms at the
Nice.
kitsune. "Hey, dogs, we're friends with Don Renard. Stop shooting. Also, I want that gun."
All right, is that the end of your turn?
I guess. I don't know. What do you want me to do, man?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I like how you say your turn, but yeah, that's totally good your turn. Okay, so you just told them you're friends with Don Renard, and they look at each other once again, back at you,
I do not think you could have said anything worse. You idiot.
and they raise the gun up one more time, and they're going to fire it at Tough. This is the gold kitsune that has taken the most
Tough will
damage.
just like, as his arms are waving in the air, his wrists will just like slump down, and like his yelling scream will just turn into like a frown, like oh.
At least we know now.
That was a good try, Tough.
You don't have to hold back.
Shut up. Does a 28 hit you, Tough?
What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a crit?
No.
You want the rifle? Here it is.
And he fires a shot as his shoulder flies back, and this powerful beam soars through the air and knifes through the sky and strikes you directly in the chest, sending a jolt of energy through your body. The impact is powerful, and it feels like you were hit by I was gonna say truck, but I guess a wagon. I don't really know.
A big old
and
wagon.
it deals 7 damage.
Is it a semi-wagon?
Yeah, it's a semi-wagon. And can
Thanks,
you
guys.
roll me a will save?
I will. 28.
Ooh,
Let's go.
nice. Tough. As this hits you, for a moment, that's the only thing you can think about. And for a brief moment, all of you in your orbs, you see the light around you flicker, and the connection to Tough is lost for a moment, and you start to feel yourself dropping for a second, and then Tough's eyes open up, and he sends out a jolt of energy, and the whips wrap around you again and create the orb once more, and allow you to hover in place. And Tough, you realize that if you get shot, there is a risk that you drop someone.
You guys aren't off the leash that easily. All right, no time for jokes, Tough.
No, Tougher, that's gonna make me sick. You gotta not do that.
Good catch, buddy.
The kitsune goes,
Let me try that again. Come on.
he slaps the sun shard, raises it back up, wobbling, and fires again, and completely misses. And you, again, Tough, being familiar with firearms, see that this kitsune is not very good at handling it, and it may be too powerful for them to reliably fire. And that'll take us to Zoki.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna try and kill that guy, seeing as we all might fall out of the sky.
And she holds the arrow, notches it, and is going to try and shoot at him.
Yeah, let's go, Zoki.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it a
Turn her
D6?
into a mass
Is it a short
murderer.
bow?
Yeah, it's a short bow, D6.
Okay. And Dax, you're actually pretty surprised as you watch her fire this. She does like a very seamless like knock, pull, and release. Like she doesn't hold the arrow at all. And it soars through the air. And the kitsune, you could tell, wasn't expecting her to be very competent after seeing her bounce around. And he looks up just as it strikes him in the shoulder.
Nice.
Curse you.
And he grabs the shaft and snaps it off and throws it into the sky.
Shoot her next. Oh, no, please don't do that, please.
And that'll take us to Jules.
All right. I'm going to keep this simple, and I'm just going to turn around, extend my hand in a gun shape, and shoot 3 magic missiles at Goldilocks. Got him, guys.
Don't call me that. I'm a proud
Goldie
golden
Fox.
kitsune.
I'm going to cast a level 2. So when it's heightened to 2, it says you shoot 1 additional missile with each action you spend.
Sounds like it.
64. Heck yeah! How come I haven't done this?
Either that or
sooner?
we're way wrong and someone's going to be like, dude, what? That's so
What are you doing?
That's how I understand English, you know?
What do you
So-
mean?
That's how I understand a spell I'm not looking at the description of.
Yeah, me either. I'm just listening to Adam tell me about it. It could be like complete lie.
13.
13 damage. Nice. And this is at Goldilocks. So you go, this is just right.
Nice.
You raise it up and fire your aqua darts like a machine gun. And they're flying through the air as the gold kitsune is trying to jam the sun shard in very awkwardly, unwieldy with this weapon, then looks up.
He can shoot too?
And they all strike him and pepper him and explode brilliantly in this aqua color. Again, looks brilliant in the dark night sky. And he wobbles back and forth, and you see burn marks in his silk shirt, the type that Reynard wore, and he looks very weathered, and his fur is singed, and he is sort of teetering side to side on the hippogriff.
I am not doing so well.
Ha
And that'll take us to Waltz.
Are we any closer to them, or are we still at 50 feet?
They're like they could pass you or get closer at any point, and they're just like maintaining distance because they have guns.
Hey, Duff, you gotta get closer to them. I can't do anything over here. And I'll just use all 3 of my actions to assist Jules.
Well, you can't do that because it's a reaction, and you only have 1 reaction.
I can only do it to 1, but wouldn't this allow me to use it for any of those 3?
Oh yeah, I
That
guess
is technically true.
Wow,
You know what I'm
dude.
saying? So
look at
I'll use all
Taryn,
3 of
dude.
my actions to aid all 3 of them. I'll use Intimidate, or I'll use Demoralize on them, and I'll just, with my shield in my hand, I'll maybe like smash it with my fist and just shoot out a bolt of lightning and electric arc. Not to really cast the spell, but just kind of like to try and show that I can, create lightning, because when the T-Rex did it, I was pretty terrified, so maybe it'll scare them too.
Roll me 2 intimidation checks.
Oh, 2 of them?
Yeah, because you're doing it to both.
I'll do you one better. I'll roll you 3.
No, you don't have to. Can't.
Sure, do that, but take the better of the 2.
I'll just
take
combine
the 2
them.
best ones.
Oh, there you go.
First one was a 5.
Okay.
Second one, 13. 14 with Jules's. Wait, no, that's done right now,
That's
right?
done.
Yeah, 13.
Unfortunately.
All right, Walt, you lift your shield up, and your eyes glow blue, and electricity dances around your shield in an attempt to intimidate them. And they look at each other. And then they like slap the sun shards in, and then their guns start glowing even brighter as they hold them up at you. You have 1 action left.
I'll aid Tough again for my final action.
Thanks.
Cool. And that'll take us to the silver kitsune. And he is preparing to fire his rifle after laughing. And the gold kitsune, also after laughing, you see that he is in a lot of pain as he holds his side. And he looks to the silver kitsune and he says,
These Neanderthals are harder than I thought. Go get help. I will hold them off.
and the silver kitsune looks at him and kind of furrows his brow, like concerned with him. And the gold kitsune just says,
Just go. It is what Raoul would have wanted.
and he nods and he grabs the reins of the hippogriff and veers to the side and then just starts to take off much faster than you all towards the city. And that'll take us to Dax.
Oh no.
Where's that guy going?
I don't like
He's
that
going
one
to
bit.
get help, you idiot.
I wasn't talking to you.
You guys are going to get it. But I'm going to shoot you one more time, you idiot. You stupid idiot cat, whatever you are. I hate you.
We're gonna go ahead and make sure you die in vain, and he'll be doing a demoralize on the gold man.
Ooh,
The
dude,
gold
Dax
fox.
is getting dark.
Okay.
That is a 23.
All right.
That hits.
And as you say that, you see his eyes flicker for a moment, as you can see that it is setting in that he is probably going to die. And he has no way of knowing if this sacrifice will actually pay off. So there's a little bit of like, man, what if I just died? He doesn't get there. So you sort of knife through. And what do you do with your remaining actions?
I'm going to once again ball up my fists and cast another Ray of Frost.
Yeah.
22.
That hits, roll damage.
That is only 8 damage this time.
And you say, well, make sure you die in vain, and fire out another frigid beam that cuts through the air and hits the kitsune, freezing over their body as they pull on the reins and are unable to move their hands as they're covered in ice. And the hippogriff starts to barrel roll through the air, and then the shards break off of their hands and they start to free fall to their death. And you just hear, "You are still going to die," as he falls towards his death. And the hippogriff sort of spirals out of control and disappears into the clouds behind you. And you guys are sort of out of combat here for a moment. What do you guys say to each other as you see the other hippogriff just taking off in the distance with the kitsune on it towards the city?
Tough. Does this thing go any faster?
Shut up, shut up, shut up. And Tough is just like sprinting as hard as he can.
You're always really rude when it doesn't really require any rude.
What did I just say, Waltz?
Guys, that the silver fox went to right where we're going. We gotta get prepared. And Dax will start fidgeting through his, rummaging through his bag. He'll pull out his healer's gloves and use them on himself to heal some.
You see Zoki just sort of in vain fire an arrow after them, just trying something, and it just falls way before it even reaches them.
Darn it. There's gotta be something we can do. Can't this go any faster? I mean, come on.
Zoki, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Waltz. Shut up.
Yeah, he's really rude about that when you tell him stuff. He just gets angry.
For the listeners at home, I healed 13 hit points, by the way, now that I actually finally rolled it.
Tough. Right as you go to yell shut up at Zoki, your voice is overpowered, your shut up is unheard as you hear a familiar, piercing shriek behind you as Cervantes hovers beneath you guys and looks up and snorts, tilting their head forward at the hippogriff in the distance flying towards the city.
Smith!
He snorts again, and he's just looking
Smith!
up at you guys, and he has his wings open like he's ready to catch someone, and he's nodding towards someone
I
flying
just
towards the
wave
city.
down at him. Hey, buddy, look at me. Look what I can do.
Tough, can you, release this little orb thingy so I can go out Smith?
You think I know how to do that?
Maybe not. And I'll just try and, force my way out. I'll just try and, run and bulldoze through the side of it.
Ouch, that hurts somehow.
Roll an athletics check, Walt.
I'll do that. I'll do that all freaking day. 29.
All right. Walt, you sort of brace your back up against the back side of the orb and start to take in a bunch of rapid breaths and then kind of sprint down the orb, raise up your shield, and then bash through and start to free fall out the side. Tough, you feel the connection severed to Waltz, and Waltz, can you roll me an acrobatics check? See how
son of a-
gracefully.
Oh, 6.
Oh. You did it with too much power, and you go way too far backwards, and then Smith's eyes open really wide, and then he does a hairpin turn, swoops around, and catches you, and you just land on your stomach across his back, perpendicular, very ungraceful, almost drop your shield for a second, and then Smith looks back at you, snorts, and then looks back up and flies underneath Bigsby's crew one more time, lets out a loud shriek in case anyone else wants to drop on.
Wait, if Tough rides Smith, can we all fly at the same speed?
What the heck? Why do you think Smith knows that?
Smith just snorts looks very upset.
I think Tough has to keep flying. If anyone else wants to go, it just can't be Tough. Otherwise, the other two, we're all gonna die.
So who's gonna go?
Tough snorts. He's very upset. He just wants someone. He's like, we gotta go.
Jules, go! And
All
Dax
right.
will kind of put his hand behind his back and just
No.
push.
Dax, you go.
And Tuff will just release the orb that Dax is in.
Whoa!
Right. Dax, you fall. Can you roll me an acrobatics check?
You bet. 15.
All right. You weren't expecting that, but quickly orientate yourself and do a little
got winglets
spin
now.
in the air and then land perfectly on Smith. And Smith, without even missing a beat, waiting at all, lets out a shriek, pins his wings back, and darts forward. And you just hear Zoki go, wait, don't you need this? She has your bow still. And the rest of you are hovering with Tough.
Tuff calls out to Smith.
Show off.
Dax, how you feeling? You all right?
Oh, I've been better.
Waltz will put a hand on Dax and heal him using lay on hands, because I'm assuming I would have it back. I don't remember the last time I used it. I guess there wasn't a specific point where I said I refocused, but I feel like a long time has passed, right?
Yeah, that works.
Are you still laying on your stomach over Smith? Just reach over and touch his shin.
I'm laying on my hands.
Dax, how you feeling, bud?
The spell doesn't work unless you're laying on your hands.
Yeah, you have to lay on your hands. But Dax, you get 18 hit points, buddy.
Whoa, that's
Hey.
that's pretty good.
Hey, I'm
Yeah, it
fully
says
healed
focus
now.
heightened 3. I don't know when that happened. Maybe when I turned level 5.
Wow, he's so strong he doesn't even know it.
How's that, Dax?
Oh man, that feels great, buddy. Thanks. Let's go get this guy.
Let's do it.
All right, so you guys dart after this kitsune. Smith appears to be the superior hippogriff as he's gradually gaining on this other
Obviously.
hippogriff flying towards the city. He looks back over his shoulder. What the? And just kind of lazily looks over with this rifle and is going to try and fire it back at you guys. But technically, Waltz has a higher initiative. So, Waltz, as you see them do this, is there anything you're going to prepare to do?
I'll take a ready action to defend, to aid Dax. I'll also, because I'm like down on my stomach on Smith, I'll use an action to kind of like reposition myself in a more advantageous position.
I love that it's now canon that you did heal Dax while draped over Smith on your stomach.
Yeah,
It's kinda
It's almost
funny.
like you were laying there and you were like, Dax, touch me. And that's how it works.
I just kind of like, I reach with my foot just to like touch your toes or something. So I'll reposition myself. I'll be like upright on Smith now. I'll take out my shield and then I'll aid Dax with any attack that he wants to do.
All right, the Kitsune is going to fire his rifle, but he plays dirty and he's going to fire it at Smith because he knows
How dare
Smith
he?
is enabling
Don't
you to
you
fly.
dare.
And
I will kill
he
him.
shoots this. He fires backwards over his shoulders, twisting in his seat, and this missile flies through the air. Smith steers, trying to get out of the way, but it flies too fast and strikes one of his wings, blowing some of the feathers off. Smith lets out a loud shriek, and a good deal of damage has been dealt to him as he starts to somersault in the air and then regain his flight and shakes his head back and forth and lets out a very determined snort and starts to flap even harder. And you can tell that that would probably hurt a lot given that he just got shot in the wing, but he is extremely determined.
Smith, are you all right?
Just another familiar snort, very, very determined. And the Kitsune will look forward again and then slap the reins on his hippogriff, trying to increase speed, and that'll take us to Dax.
All right. At this point, what is the distance?
75 feet.
Seeing Smith just get blasted by this gun, Dax is gonna pull some bandage out of his pack and do battle medicine on Smith. Try to patch up some of that open wound going on right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Dax.
Thank you, Dax.
Do a DC 20. We'll
Okay.
make it. We'll do double. Go for double damage dice.
Okay. All right.
I got a 29.
All right, that's a success.
16 hit points.
All right. You pull out a packet of Quick Clot. You just sort of start dumping it on Smith, trying to do it in the air while you're flying. It's very chaotic, but you see it start to clot up his wound and do some healing on him. But Smith is like, it's like he didn't even notice that. Like, you definitely healed him, but he could care less about the state he's in. All he cares about is catching this hippogriff. And do you have any remaining actions?
You got this. And then I will go ahead and tried and true. I'll ball up my fists and shoot another ray of frost at this silver fox. And Taryn, are you aiding me on this?
I would love to give you my aid.
Roll an acrobatics check.
17.
All right. Waltz, you can tell that Dax is about to try and fire this, but it's pretty shaky being on top of Smith, so you throw your shield up on your shoulder, sitting in front of Dax, and then let Dax like rest his arm on top of the shield, like almost like balancing a rifle on like a bipod, and then he fires out this beam. And did you roll an attack roll?
Yep. 28.
Ooh, nice. All right, that hits.
11 damage.
Nice. So this beam is just slicing through the air at incredible speed and catches up to this Kitsune on the hippogriff. Tries to steer out of the way, but it hits him in the back, and you see the hippogriff flutter. And you can tell you did a lot of damage to him, striking him in the back with your ice beam. And that'll take us back to Waltz.
Is he far enough away to where he's not really attacking us anymore?
I mean, he's still shooting backwards at you guys, but also trying to get to the city. But
How far are we from the city?
Oh, you're getting up there. You're pretty close.
Well, I don't know what else to do with my turns, really, other than the same thing I've been doing.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad use of your turn. You're making him more effective.
Yeah, I will do the same thing. I will keep aiding Dax. I don't really know if there's other than my shield's raised if he does attack me.
You could also do like a perception of like what's coming up, stuff like that.
Yeah, let me do a perception check.
All right.
17.
Okay, Waltz. As you're preparing to help Dax attack, you're scanning what's up ahead, and you see that you guys are getting very, very close to the city, and you are continuing to ascend, so you're soaring up past the cliffside rocky cone that supports the plateaued surface as you continue to go upwards, and you are quickly approaching a forest, which would be the first environment that you're going to encounter if they continue on their current trajectory. And you can tell they will be there very, very soon. So maybe just some urgency to Dax to pass along to him, who's very focused on trying to shoot this guy.
Dax, if we keep going this way, we'll be in that forest. And I don't know if you have had this similar experience, but a forest is a great place to lay an ambush. So we got to be careful.
Yeah, just keep Smith steady. Dax is just focused on trying to kill this thing.
I got you, buddy.
All right, and that'll take us back to the Kitsune, who looks over his shoulder again, seeing you're still on him, seeing Dax maybe firing the beam, seeing that he was healing Smith, and then he's going to try and fire at Dax this time, twisting backwards. Does a 29 hit you? Is that a crit?
Yes, it does. It is not a crit.
Oh, phew. All right. And this bolt flies back through the air. You can see that maybe Smith was going to like take the brunt of it or something, but you care a lot about Smith, and you maybe hold on to his reins and kind of keep him down and allow yourself to take this bolt, and it strikes you for 10 damage as this surge of energy explodes in front of you. Very powerful, striking you in the chest.
Waltz, I said keep him steady.
Dax,
What are you doing?
trying. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
And then you see the Kitsune almost shifting gears and take the strap of the rifle and put it over their shoulder, and then just completely grasp the reins of the hippogriff, slapping it, and starts dive bombing towards the forest as if they're going to fly under the brush. And that'll take us
away.
to Dax.
Come on, Daxy.
Is he still within 75 or is he further now?
Yeah, he's still within that. Smith is keeping you there and getting a little bit closer as well.
Man, thanks, Smith. You're the best.
And you guys don't even have to roll animal handling. He just knows what needs to be done right now. He is all business.
That's what I love about him, man.
No animal.
All right, I'll go ahead and cast another. I'm running out of ways to describe it, but
Ray
I'll
of Frost.
cast another Ray of Frost.
All right, roll it up with the plus
Come on, Dexy.
from the aid.
Yeah, well, I have to roll to see if he gets that.
All right.
Do it.
Dax just not one. Joel's just silently staring at us.
I did. However, I do have a hero point I haven't used.
Okay, that might be good news.
And I feel like flying in this situation would be a real bad time to nat one, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it.
That's probably a good call.
I hate to use it on an attack. I generally wouldn't, but just given our tricky situation.
What do you want me to roll, Zach, for to see if another
Same
acrobatics?
thing, acrobatics, yeah.
Come on.
16.
That is a success.
So that is going to be a 30 on the attack roll.
Oh, dang.
Because
Because
Okay.
I
my
rolled a
+1.
29.
Roll
Is that a crit?
a double damage attack.
But wait, there's more.
Go
Because he
on.
also
But
gets
wait,
a
what's a but
negative
wait?
10-foot status penalty to his speed because of the
Alright.
frostiness.
Nice.
Fantastic.
So double damage. All right. 22 damage.
Nice. Dang.
God, Terran and Dax are a super team.
Okay, Waltz, you throw your shield up on your shoulder again, keeping it perfectly balanced, flexing your bicep as you do it, just looking jacked. And then you also take
bicep.
yeah, distract him. That's right. And then you also grab on to Smith's reins and calm him, keeping him steady. And this is just the flattest launch point Dax has had for this attack this entire time. Dax, you close one eye, resting it on the shield, and fire it. But instead of firing it like a beam, you just fire this like pulse that flies like even faster. This little orb where all the energy is condensed, and you see it strike this Kitsune in the back, and it erupts in like this puff of ice and snow and shards and everything. You hear his hippogriff shriek, and then you see them continue to dive bomb into the trees, and you hear branches snapping and like a crashing noise as if they just crashed into the forest. You don't know if you've killed them or what, but you definitely threw them off track with your speed penalty and everything just being caked in ice as the hippogriff crashes.
That's what I'm talking about, Daxy. Good shot, Dax.
Dax will clap the back of Waltz. There we go.
Smith lets out an excited shriek, but continues flying towards the forest.
God, Waltz, what do we do? Do we follow him in there? I don't want to get ambushed like you said.
Yeah, I think we need to risk it and try to catch him before he tells someone else. We can't risk the chance that he lets everybody else in the city know we're coming.
That's a good point. I trust you. I'm here 100%.
All right, Smith, let's go, buddy.
Smith, very excited, very eager. It's tunnel vision trying to catch this guy. Just lowers his head and dive bombs into the forest as you guys prepare to enter Ciudad de la Nubes for the first time. And that is where we'll end our session with that.
What?
You guys, you couldn't
Zach.
resist supporting the party, could you? Yeah, you just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. It's almost like
I
a
don't
fabricated
really
ways
party.
for
We
you to
were
do it.
baited.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what would have happened if none of us jumped and Smith just flew on without us.
Yeah, he
With
probably
all
would
of
have
us.
No, it's okay,
just taken
Smith.
care of
Tough
all
as
of
us.
it. Yeah, off
What if
screen.
all of us
Yeah,
jumped?
mission solved off screen.
I just like making Zach have to prepare 2 different campaigns. At the
yeah,
same
for
time.
sure. I like
That's
doing
my
that. Yeah,
favorite
too.
part.
That's what ChatGPT
Guys,
for.
what if all
Hey,
of
well,
us
hold on,
jumped?
hold on,
In order
hold
to
on,
do
hold
that,
on, hold on,
we
hold
have
on,
to, like,
hold
do
on,
both
hold on, hold
sides.
on, hold on.
Fair enough.
Shut
You
up,
guys
shut up,
didn't get
shut
to
up,
leave
shut up,
just
shut
like
up,
I have a
shut up,
few
shut up,
questions
shut
and
up.
comments about the
Shut up.
episode.
Yeah, I just need you to shut
Can
up.
I say
though.
those now?
Hey, no, you're totally fine to
Yeah.
do those, but that's in the downtime, so just shut
Zach,
up.
you're kind of cutting in
Yeah,
and
just-
out.
I
What
just-
are you trying to say?
Well, just read my lips, Adam. Shut up. Adam, shut up. Okay, thank you. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll talk about in the downtime, which is for patrons, where we react to the most recent episode. And yeah, I just want to read. So Spotify just did like an update, I guess. So basically, it used to be that every time we published an episode, it automatically put a poll, and the poll question was, "What do you think of the episode?" Like, I never typed that and told it to say that, but it would always do like a thing, and that's what you guys would comment on. But now it's done an update where you can literally just like comment on episodes without me putting like a question. So it's just like a YouTube video where you can comment. So we love reading that stuff. YouTube, Spotify, anything that lets you comment on episodes. We love like hearing specific comments about episodes. So I would encourage you guys. We have most of our listeners are on Spotify. So if you guys want to leave comments, that'd be cool, and we'll
One of them's
read
me.
them. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ryan listens on Spotify. We have no idea what our download stats are because Ryan listens, so it like throws off the
skew
stats.
data.
Yeah, so we have no
Yeah.
idea how many. But yeah, I just want to read a comment on our bi-weekly release update schedule thing that we posted. By the way, I
We
realized
got a
we
comment
never.
on that?
Yeah, someone commented that. By the way, I realized I never released that like on YouTube, and we've never posted about it on any of our socials. So I just wonder if our YouTube listeners are just like, huh, I guess they do it bi-weekly now. But yeah, we released it on our regular feed, and we're too lazy to make a YouTube.
We're
render
really good at this
of
social
that.
media
It's-
stuff.
Yeah, we need to get back on that. But anyway, yeah, someone commented on that. Their name was Depressomancy. And they said, I don't care what your schedules are. I'm always hitting play when the episode drops. Hands down, one of the best playcasts out there. And yeah, I just
Aw,
we
that's awesome.
shared that with each other like right away. It was just super cool because we were like, I mean, we needed to do the bi-weekly. Like, I think we would literally be out of episodes right now if we didn't, because our summer schedule's
Oh,
been
totally.
so like
Yeah.
all over
Oh,
the
yeah.
place.
It's been nuts.
So it was totally necessary, but we were worried that, you know, people would lose interest or kind of, you know, you're constantly competing with other content creators. So if you're just like bi-weekly and slip out of someone's mind, you know, then who knows. But it's just cool to see that we got like loyal people, and they just, whenever we release an episode, they'll listen. So thanks for sharing that. That was really encouraging. Definitely something we needed / wanted to hear at the time. So thanks
For sure.
for taking the time to post that.
Shout out to the
thank
Discord and all our Patreon people that stuck around and said
Oh
super
yeah,
nice
that's
things
awesome.
about that.
We were also very nervous about that. Like, oh, they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
But no, they're all like, hey, you guys, yeah, whenever you press play. It's cool to know that they wish we released weekly. If they're just like, yeah, actually, I'm glad you did that because I hated listening to you every week. Like, I do like knowing that they wish it was still weekly.
They were like,
But I like
about
knowing they're cool
time.
with it. Yeah, about time. It was way too much content. We wish we could, but
You a Merry Christmas.
yeah, we wish you a Merry Christmas in July. Christmas in July. Isn't that, aren't there a lot of sales?
Hey, that checks
Like,
out.
come to the Christmas in July sale at
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah.
this furniture, Mark.
See, it all fits.
Yeah,
You're talking about
it's
Toyota-thon.
Yeah, that's what I was on. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Rod Cush's
Honda days.
furniture, but I'm pretty sure that's like just for
I think that's just a
where
Nebraska
you're
thing.
from. Yeah, cool. Anyways, yeah, whatever. We're talking about nothing now, so we'll see you next time, mortals.
I saw a thing recently that was like, imagine being Goldilocks, just walking into someone's house and being like, "This chair sucks."
Yeah.
They need to get their together.
Yeah, man, this is a real hole.
Man, this soup sucks.
Okay. Anyways,
This soup
yeah,
sucks.
soup sucks.
Dude,
Your
this
house
sucks.
freaking sucks.
Oh, this one's pretty good. This one's
At least I
alright.
have one good bed. Jeez.
And every time she tries something, she only gets it right on the third attempt.
Right. After the first two soups suck, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, she's like, this one's gotta be good.
It worked
I'll
out with
never
the
give
chairs.
up.
I'm gonna.
She's not a very good like judge of like what she likes without trying it, you know? Like I feel like I could look at soup
Right.
and be like, I don't want that soup. But she's like, I'll try it. Oh,
Not
this
her.
Gross. Just to assume that the other two are different.
Yeah.
So, anyways, 3 magic missiles.